Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And I'm up here at Port Stephens at the moment, and this morning's episode of the Jim's 5am Club, the book summary, is coming from the Anchorage. I'm at the Anchorage Resort, which is absolutely beautiful, and as you can see all the boats here moored behind me. And if I swing around to the other way, you can see the Anchorage Resort in all its glory. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. It's a glorious autumn day. The sun's shining, there's only a gentle breeze, and it's a wonderful Tuesday to kick off our week. I've got an extra day up here today, so I'll be heading back to Sydney tonight. But we spent the Easter long weekend up here at Port Stephens, and we've had brilliant weather, especially after the torrential rains that we've experienced over the past month. It's good to be up here this time of year and to experience Nelson Bay at its absolute finest. Whilst we haven't been able to go for a swim because the water is quite murky with all the runoff, because they experienced some record rains up here, I have been able to do all the other things that I normally do, the bushwalks, the walks along the beach, and just walking around and just enjoying this downtime. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a book summary, and it's a very, very old book from a very distinguished writer. The book is entitled On the Shortness of Life. It's a fairly deep book, and it's written by Seneca the Younger. So it's a book that was written well over, or close to 2,000 years ago. It was 48 AD. So an old book with old wisdom, but it's applicable wisdom that you could possibly think that it was written just yesterday. So it talks about the things that all of us tend to think about and to trouble ourselves about. And the author kicks off the book with a really powerful quote, an interesting quote, where he says that we tend to act like mortals in all that we fear, and we tend to act like immortals in all the things that we desire. So once again, it's a reflection on the tyranny of life, the tyranny of the length of life, of our longevity. And Seneca goes on to say that people are very frugal, very deliberate, and very focused when it comes to protecting their personal property, their assets, their families, but are ever so wasteful when it comes to managing and making the most of their time, when time is the most important thing, because the time that we have is our present. It's living in the present, and yet we squander time, we waste time. Some people invest time, but mostly we waste the time. We're so wasteful, according to Seneca, in terms of how we manage and use the times in our lives. He goes on to say also that, and I think this is probably an adjunct or something that was added on later, but 86,400 is a number that is quoted in this book, and that 86,400 is the number of seconds that we have available to us in every day. 86,400 moments to savour in a day, which can be used, which can be leveraged, and can be made the most of. And yet people will waste their time, will waste the moments, will waste the present, worrying about the past or being anxious about their future. So let's move on now. So the first formal point to come out of Seneca's book is that life only seems short to those who spend it chasing leisure, luxury, and legacy. wow, what a way to look at it. So what they're basically saying is that the people who are chasing happiness, the people who are chasing leaving a legacy, all of those things which are fleeting, which are frivolous, they're the sorts of things which rob us of the purpose and the reality of life, because we end up chasing things which end up nowhere. We climb a ladder against the wall, which basically leads us nowhere. So you need to ask yourself the question, according to Seneca, if you did this for 24 hours, if you did what you're doing for 24 hours, what would it amount to? And if it's a triviality, then don't waste your time, according to Seneca, living a trivial life. You know, seeking self-pleasures, seeking happiness is not all that useful and a good investment of your time. So something really deep for us to consider, and something that I guess not very many of us think about and talk about on a regular basis. So leisure, the leisure seekers, the people who just want to have a good time all the time. You know, the people who just can't wait to retire, can't wait to go on holidays, can't wait to get home, can't wait to get on the plane. You know, these leisure seekers are the ones who are just killing their opportunities by wasting their time, by just seeking the frivolousness of life. A couple of dogs up there having a fight. So somebody's stepping in to help out that lady over there. Bit of a shock. Anyway, he's got the dog under the leash now. The other thing, people who search for luxury, who are constantly changing their cars, changing their brands, indulging in luxury, who live their life from possession to possession, from postcode to postcode, from social circle to social circle. Once again, wasting their lives just trying to chase the things which are not worth chasing. And legacy, the ones who spend their lives just trying to make a name for themselves, to become famous, to leave a legacy. And you ask yourself, well, what a waste that is as well. The important thing is to try and live your life day by day, and to make the most of the opportunities. So we have a number of things, according to the author, which distract us from our real purpose, from our calling, and things that we need to be aware of and to battle against, I guess, is the key message coming out of this ancient text, this valuable ancient text. So the author then leads us to another question and a call to action, and that is not to spend your life preparing to live, not to spend your life planning your tomorrow, not to waste your life trying to think about the future, because for many people those dreams never come and the future never arrives. I remember years ago going to a church service where the Archbishop Stylianos was presiding over the service, and I remember in his memorable sermon, he looked around the parish and to all the parishioners and to the faithful, his flock, and he said that many of us here are suffering a terminal disease. In fact, he said we are all suffering a terminal disease, but many of us are not quite aware of it. And he went on to say that some people have terminal diseases in terms of cancer and illnesses, but we all have the one terminal disease, which is called life. And one day life will end, will be taken from us, and we will not have any more tomorrows where we can freely decide on what we're going to do and how we're going to choose and live our days. So the message from the Archbishop was to lead a good, wholesome life where you live and create harmony and share love and add as much value as you can to the people around you, to the ones you love, and to be a contributor wherever possible. But the author says not to get upset, not to feel downhearted, because there's more than enough time to enjoy a productive and a good life. There's more than enough time to experience a great life. But the problem, according to Seneca, is that most people waste their time chasing needless luxury, needless happiness. They focus too much on the postcodes, on the brands, on chasing things that are fleeting, that are not going to give them a great, deep sense of fulfillment. So the author then goes on to say something else, which is surprising given that it's 2,000 years old, but I love it. And that is not to waste your time, not to spend your time living other people's vision. You know, it's your lifetime, it's your life. You need to be able to live your vision and not to inherit somebody else's vision, but to create your vision, create your life, and not to waste your time living up to other people's expectation. And the other powerful point that he comes up with, which is something that we all seem to talk about these days, is to give up your comfort zone. Don't spend your time being a kaloperesakida. Don't waste your time being a thrill or a luxury or a happiness seeker. Be more focused on creating value and creating love. And not to be just busy, but to be one whose life adds actual value. You need to live your life. Live your life. You need to sail your ship and leave the safety of the harbour. So all of these boats here are in the harbour, but as one person once told me, 99% of boats never leave their mooring. What an absolute waste. And to sit and think that there are many people who never leave the safety of their harbour and never live their lives. It's a powerful metaphor. So if your boat, if your life is moored in a safe harbour where all you're doing is trying to live safely and to exist, then you're wasting the gift of life that God has given you. Because there's a huge difference between living and existing. You know, we're called to live, we're called to create, we're called to bring forward good works. So don't let others' vision be the wind behind your sails. Set your own sails according to Seneca, and organise and try and project and direct your boat, your life, where you want to go. And the final formal point to come from this book is that what is truly important in your life can never be taken from you. As long as you know what it is, as long as you've sat down and measured it and contemplated it and figured it out, what your destiny is, once you know what your destiny is, nobody can take it from you. Because you need to understand, according to Seneca, that each and every one of us, our self-worth comes from inside of us. Don't delegate your self-worth to anybody else you'd be imprisoned and you'd be dependent on them for likes, for pats on the back, for making you feel worthy, important, and all of those other things. So be content. Be content with what you have, and don't be greedy with what you're trying to achieve in life, and to make the most of those 86,400 seconds in a day, because it's in those moments, in each of those moments, that you achieve and receive the the greatest meaning in your life, and you need to choose to appreciate life's beauty and to learn how to savor the moment, savor the present, and not be caught in the vortex of your past or the nebulousness of the future, because all we have guaranteed is the present, what we are doing right now, this eternal now that we're ever present in. So there you go. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay reasonable, stay relevant, stay excited. And let's take some lessons from this old, beautiful text by Seneca the Younger, which is almost 2,000 years old, and learn to appreciate the shortness of our lives and to make the most of the moments that we have available to us, and to know that life is short, and we all live with the tyranny of a terminal disease, and that terminal disease is life. So let's make the most, let's engage, let's stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and stay happy and content with what we're doing, and not to be too greedy, I guess, is the bottom line from Seneca. So I think I'll leave it there. Take care. I'll come to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we try and become the wind beneath our wings by incorporating and learning the various life hacks using OPE, other people's experiences, from all of the wonderful books that have been written, that we can summarize and pick out a few points and use that to leverage from. So I'll come to you again later on throughout the day. We go through another book summary where we can live, learn, and pass it on. And I wish you all the very best from this wonderful, wonderful, idyllic location up here at Nelson Bay at Corlett, a place which is called the Anchorage, and a place where I absolutely love to come to and just walk around this little harbour. But I always worry, as I said before, that I see all these boats and I never see these boats leaving their mooring. Just like people, we've got to be careful that we don't get caught in a safe harbour, where we don't leave the comfort of our comfort zone, where we can get out and about and experience life and savour those 86,400 seconds that we have available for each and every one of us throughout the day, every single day, as long as we are alive. Take care. If you like ya, from Jim's 5am Club, que tal leme. Bye for now.